welcome to another episode of Flying Sparks Garage. Look what we did to our Corvette.
Oh no.
We're going to be doing multiple week uploads on this build instead of doing a start to finish, which is usually what we do, which would be longer episodes with an actual ending to the project. We're going to try doing a vlog style where we give you guys 2 to 3 uploads a week. Words. 2 to 3 uploads a week. I was going to say videos and then it just got messed up in my little brain. And because we are getting ready to hit the road on Power Tour in this thing in about a month, and she's getting a makeover.
Yeah,
So
we have the idea, let's just wrap it so that it looks decent. And then my OCD kicked in and this is happening. So we're doing all the body work like we're going to paint it, just to put a big sticker on it. But oh well, for that reason, you're not going to get a quick, start finish video. It's going to have to be stretched out because this is a lot of work sanding. So it's taking us time, but we're having fun. And I hope you guys enjoy watching it. Maybe you learn something. Maybe you see something you can teach us. Either way, stick with us. We're about to make it look pretty.
let's kick this episode off, and we look forward to reading all your comments.
This is our 2006 Corvette ZR wannabe. Yeah, this is a repop.
Y'all catch that?
Yeah. Repop fiberglass kit, and there are so many problems with it. When you order this kind of stuff, a lot of it's hand laid, and you got to massage it. And these guys feel like they think they probably did. There's so much stuff that needs to be fixed. So we're going to pull the bumper off, do some work on it. It's been hit right here, so there's a crack. So I'm going to try to fix that. These clips are known for going out here. They didn't worry about that. They just drilled a hole and put a sheet metal screw in it, and then put some bondo on top of it. So we're going to try to fix that. And then because the bumper wasn't laying down right, they built this fender up. You may have seen on Instagram, Emily opened the hood one day and it popped a big chunk of bondo out. So we're going to work on this stuff, and we're actually going to wrap this car. We don't have time to paint it, but we want it to look nice. And because it's a driver, because we bought it with the intention of just beating around and having fun in it, we don't spend a bunch of money on paint. So we're going to try to wrap this car ourselves. See what it's like. It'll be a fun adventure. But there's so many things we want to do. We want to get wheels for it. We got a cracked one in the back, so need to figure that out. We got to put new tires on it and just dress it up, make it look nice, make it run good, make it reliable. Pretty well is reliable, but yeah, we'll find something to work on.
Aaron alluded to a deadline, and that is because we have just committed to doing Hot Rod Power Tour West. As you guys know, you may not know though, we did Power Tour for our honeymoon back in 2007. So we have enjoyed that event for many years since. And Power Tour West is a pretty exciting new chapter for Hot Rod Magazine, and it's pretty cool. We are going to be going there to experience their first event on the West Coast. So we're pretty stoked about it, but you guys, we have a trek ahead of us. We live in Texas, and it starts in Irwindale, California. So we're gonna get this car all spiffied up and then hit the road, and we're gonna have a whole power tour just to get to Power Tour. And that's somewhat typical for us. Usually when we do builds, we drive 1,500 miles just to start the tour. This one's gonna be closer to 2,000 to 2,500 probably, but it's gonna be an absolute blast because we love the event. We have a ton of friends already going. If you guys live on the West Coast, or even if you live in any part of the country, or out of the country, I already know of a few people that are flying in from overseas to do this. Plan for it, be spontaneous. It's almost the end of the year, and finish the year out with a bang. Come join us on Hot Rod Power Tour West.
Hot what? Hot Rod Power Tour.
I didn't know if it sounded the same way it came out. Anyway, we need to get to work. We're just generally stoked about this event, and stoked about getting the Corvette a little bit sweeter. We really enjoy driving it, but it's gonna be really sweet with a little makeover.
Yeah. First, we're gonna pull this bumper off. We've got, like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but things are not really attached. They're just kind of there. So we got to take it off and see what's behind there, see what we need to add to get this thing secured and good. Start taking the bumper off. I know that there are 2 bolts right here that hold it to the fender. I also know there's bolts that go across the front. Everything underneath it that should be attaching it, I think is not even there. It's not, like it literally wasn't cast into the bumper. So we'll get this light out, try to get these bolts out, and then just kind of work it until we find something else that's attaching it. So then get this light out. Yep. Lights out. And light bulb is painted silver. That's nice. This light should be set in a little bit. It's literally just like, it doesn't even fit the hole. So we're gonna have to massage that, do some grinding and make it work. That was siliconed in. And then this screw, they had to put this clip right here, like that. That is not right. There's supposed to be a screw back here, that's missing. Oh, there it is. Cool. It's just so poorly done. Just bondo and...
It's silver on one side.
And see how this light doesn't even really fit in here? So we're gonna have to reshape this so that these lights fit.
And is that like just aftermarket junk?
Yes.
Or
yeah, that's just...
That's not the body people that did that. That's like...
No, but when you buy these bumpers that are hand-laid fiberglass, you understand that you're gonna have to reshape some things. Like that's just part of it. That one's got 2 bolts in it. What do you know?
We have a lot of new parts we're excited about for this car. The core support and the radiator support situation that's like an aluminum tubing that's underneath the car, it is jacked on this one. We don't know if it got into a wreck or if they hit something really hard, but it's messed up. You'll see when this bumper comes off. But we have a new one of those. We have beautiful new headlights from a company called Vet Lights. They make super nice high-end lighting for these cars. We're just really, really excited to give her a refresh and a makeover and make her feel like she should. Like, this car is beautiful, and when you look closely at it, it is just rugged right now. Like, it's been through it. So we're not gonna make it perfect. It's still gonna be a good daily that we're just out there grinding the pavement on, but it's gonna be nicer, and that's awesome.
Okay. We'll open the hood, see if we can get those bolts out, and maybe the bumper will come off. We'll see. That's just a 7mm socket. And of course that one wasn't even tight. And we know there's a screw that goes through here, so we're gonna fight with that. I guess there's one on the other side too. That is just so...
Gracious, why?
Don't do stuff like this. Look, they even sanded it down to make it match the body line. Jeez. Looks like you
Oh, the screw right here that... Ugh.
Just chip it away, I'll fix it. So you can get that screw out.
That screw really didn't even go, it just went into that styrofoam stuff. Jeez.
See, there should have been stuff on the bottom holding this on, and there just wasn't. It wasn't there. We're gonna make something. Well, I guess we'll pop the headlights out. Yeah, that headlight had 2 nuts on it. It's supposed to have 3.
This one only has 1 nut on it, I think.
Wouldn't doubt it.
There's 3 bolts that come down, right? Or studs?
Should be.
Yeah, only one of them has a nut on it.
Nice.
Yeah, I take 1 nut off and the whole thing's loose.
Yep.
Poor little car.
That's why we're saving her. Doesn't deserve to go to the junkyard.
Missing. There's 1 down here.
Oh, you got a screw hole this freaking light in.
No.
Not even joking.
I mean, we shouldn't be surprised at this point, though.
Like a screw through the top of the fender into the light.
Hit that screw head that's coming out of the fender. Yeah.
We clearly have a screw right here. You can see where they bonded over it. And I don't want to do damage to this headlight frame if I can prevent it. So I'm gonna cut the screw off if I can. Jeez. Don't do drugs, kids. You may end up like this.
Luckily, we're not going back with that headlight.
No, there's not much left of it. I decided to go ahead and pull it because we've got a lot of work to do on it. all of a sudden broken. Okay. And that didn't weigh anything. That is thin fiberglass. So we have to make a decision. Like, we can fix all the fiberglass stuff, reinforce it, you know, make everything perfect, or we can buy new parts. It's just a matter of how much time do we want to spend. Because I'm afraid that the new parts that come in aren't going to be in a lot better shape. We're still going to have to massage them and make them fit. So we're going to think on that. But for now, it's nice to be able to see the car. And the actual car is not really that busted up. It's just those superficial outer skins. This all looks great. That's going to have to be repaired, but that's minor.
Got a little rock quarry there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe that's her nickname. Dump truck.
Dump truck. Carrying around rocks. Okay. You're gonna be happier when you go back together, okay, little mama? You're gonna be happier.
Rocks falling in my hand.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Aaron.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Yeah, under all that hackery, the car looks really nice. It makes me super excited.
She's so sweet. God, it's so fun to drive too.
Mm-hmm.
Man. We done took our Corvette apart, Aaron.
Yep.
She's feeling a little bit naked.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll show you something.
Show me something or them something.
Film something.
What is it?
This is the only thing that was holding that front end on this car. Seriously, that's all the bolts and nuts. And 4 of those are for headlights.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff missing, a lot of fiberglass broken. So we're going to run to Harbor Freight. We've got to get some stands to lay the body panels back on. And we're going to get some sanding paper, some fiberglass stuff, and just so we can get to work. Because right now we don't have the color we're going to put on it. It's coming in the mill. Oh yeah. Going to wrap it. We're waiting on that. So the only thing we can do is make the fenders look good. So get some fiberglass, start kind of piecing that back together. Because I don't think buying another set is really going to do as much good, and they're expensive to ship. So we're just going to start massaging it back together. So that's it for today.
We'll see y'all when we have more stuff to work with. We got some stands.
All right. And the mixer thing. Mix our fiberglass or whatever on it. The first few things we're going to work on is, you can see this ledge right here. It's got a hole in it. That's for a clip to go in. The clip actually holds the bumper on. It like slides down into it, sandwiches it. On this fender, it doesn't exist. I don't know if they dropped it and broke it off or what. So they had everything just glued together. So I've got to try to make a template of that over there, then somehow mirror it and build that fiberglass up over here. The other thing we're going to have to deal with is, this is a screw that goes through here. And it's just got lots of junk. On this side, they didn't install it correctly, so the fender was lower than the hood. And so what they did is they just used bondo and built it up, which is really not good, especially on fiberglass, because it'll crack like that and come out. So we're going to chip that out, kind of get it back so that we get down to the fresh fiberglass, and then we'll start to rebuild from there. I want to start on the fenders because if for some reason I can't get it the way I want it, I need time to get some ordered. We're really trying to prevent that because they're expensive. They're going to be hand laid, so we're going to have to modify even the new ones we get. So I'm going to try to make these work. And probably not going to be a lot of talking, just me in here with my earbuds in, working on stuff. But I'm excited to see what we can do.
So Aaron was going around all the panels and removing all the deck screws. And he found a piece of the bracket that goes on that fender.
That's part of the front fender.
That is crazy. So will you remove that and then fiberglass it to where it belongs?
Yeah, I'll put it back on there.
Cool. And then we'll actually use proper hardware.
Yes, we'll use the clips that were designed to go on it. And that's where it goes. So fiberglass that back in. That'd be sweet.
Perfect.
Found the fender.
Oh. Aaron.
Hey, if they can do janky body work, I can too. I just want to start, you know, where the fender was actually made. Fiberglass doesn't dent. It can't be dented. Okay, now we're about down to the paint. It's getting real thin. I'd rather start here. If I'm gonna have to build all this back up anyways, I'd rather get everything on the car, get it lined up, see how far off we are, and see if we can shim it before we start putting bondo on it. This is not the right way to do it, how they did it.
What you got here, Mr. Reeves?
Well, I got that little piece back on there. I think it's following the body line like it should. So I'm gonna start laying some glass back here. We took a grinder and we ground out all the nasty stuff, the overspray and whatnot. Got down to the fiberglass, and so we're just gonna lay a couple mats in there, let it cure, and then see what we got.
And you use duct tape on this side to position it?
Yeah, that's just duct tape. So we got all this cleaned up so we can put glass in here. I may go ahead and cut back a little bit, get a little more of it cleaned up, but where it's going to be mating, that's all clean and ready to put glass on it.
While he's been doing body work, I've been enjoying cleaning up the shop a little bit, and I just made him his little inventory of all of his stuff, his components and products and junk that he needs for this process, so it's awesome. This is fun.
I normally use like an actual fiberglass resin, but I accidentally bought this stuff and I've used it in the past. It looks like it's working pretty good. It's still kind of gooey, so I'm just trimming it up a little bit.
Kinda looks like you went crazy with a dry erase marker.
Yep. I think if you want to buy a Corvette that's got body damage, it is going to need to be a labor of love. Because this fiberglass just, yeah, especially aftermarket stuff, there's so many blemishes and so much stuff they did wrong. And we're wrapping it, so of course we don't have to make it perfect. But if there's stuff we can take out very easily, like there's a run right here. There's no reason leaving that there. We can just knock that down. Another one right here. And we've got, the fog lights won't stay in, so I've got to kind of rebuild that with fiberglass. The little thing in the top is broken.
Like the mounting points, yeah.
Yeah, on both sides. And so the wrap's going to be here today. Clearly this won't be finished, but we're going to get as much of this stuff fixed as we can just so the car looks decent, knowing darn well that if we ever want it to be perfect, we're going to have to do this process again. But because it's a car we drive a lot, I think this will make it look good enough where we're proud of it and we're excited to drive it. And so I'm going to get Emily on some jobs, I'm going to get on some jobs, and we're just going to start doing body work. It's raining outside, so it's a good day to turn the heater on and just put the earbuds in and get to work. So you'll probably see a lot of time lapses. We'll pause if there's something important, but for the most part, we're just going to get busy. That's what's happening.
I was just telling Aaron, like, when I'm filming him and the Z cars in the back behind him, well, both Z cars, this one, we talk to her and say, we're coming back to you, sister. Don't give up on us. We love you. You're in our presence. You're here. We got this. But this one, that was Aaron's first car, and we restored it for our 10-year wedding anniversary in 2017. And there's a lot of things about the build that need to be fixed. It drives pretty freaking great.
Yeah, it drives. I mean, we put thousands and thousands of miles on it since we built it.
Yeah, it's been on 3 power tours.
Yeah, the rear differential has gone out. It's making metal, and it's not good. So we got to figure out what we want to do with that. We may be putting a one out of, well, this car, the 300ZX twin turbo. It's got a limited slip built in from the factory, or we might do an 8.8. We don't know. Need to do that. The fuel injection's janky. It's not working right, and of course the front fascia is just god awful.
Yeah. It's not the best.
That was a rush, last minute deal. When that thing came in the mail, it was folded in half, and you had to use a heat gun to stretch it back out. It's just not good quality. So that's all stuff that we want to fix on it. But yeah, I agree. I'm ready to drive it. It's fun.
I was just telling Aaron, we got to get this thing pushed back and get this car down so we can be driving it again. Because even though the rear end makes terrible noises, she should still be driven. Like,
oh, you could put a battery in this and drive it easily.
Yeah, and we had her in rotation for a long time. Yeah. The fuel injection does weird stuff, like it dies randomly and starts running rough, so we've got stuff to figure out with that. But man, it's such a great car, and it means so much to us. So yep, lots of fun stuff. Okay, now we'll get to work.
I get so distracted, but yeah.
Birdie.
Oh, look at the birdie.
We have an audience.
It's a lion.
The kittens came in last night because it was raining. And now it's not raining, but little puddles of kittens.
So you guys know I'm training these to be murder kittens. So if you come up on my property without contacting us first, you got 6 miniature lions that are going to eat your head off.
Yep, they're going to attack you. So that's really good to know, Aaron.
Yeah.
Murder kittens.
They are.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting so that I know that I'm giving Emily good instructions. So let's go back here and see if we can fix some of these blemishes.
All right, now we got some light here.
If you get that camera to get a good shot, you'll see there's just poor quality bodywork, or that paint lifted or something. Here is just bad sanding. I mean, that's just a rougher grip. So we're gonna start, I believe I grabbed the 400. Yeah, 400. And we're just gonna block it. We're gonna keep this thing as flat to the panel as we can. When we get to the edge, we're gonna let it hang over like that. We're not gonna dig into it, because then what you do is you take this body line off, and we do not want to have to try and repair that. That's very difficult. And if you do take it off and have to put filler in it, it's very susceptible to cracking. So we're gonna prevent that if at all possible. So let's see what's underneath all this and see if we can get it flattened out enough to take a wrap. See, you can immediately see the blemishes.
Oh my gosh.
See them?
Yeah.
Yep, so you can tell what's high and what's low. I'm not using hardly any pressure on this. Bodymen, if you have advice for me, cool. This is all just self-taught. I am just one of those that gets out here and gets it done. Keep in mind we're putting a wrap on this, so if we're repainting it, we'd probably make sure we get all that junk out of there so it doesn't, make the new paint come up. But you can see how we're keeping that body line. You can even see the orange peel just starting to come out of it. Right in there.
We have the radio out of the car because the sound was just terrible, the sound quality in there. And Aaron took it out to be sure that they had, because it's an aftermarket like Alpine head unit, so Aaron removed it to see if there was anything like any kind of amp that wasn't plugged in, and he feels like the rear speakers were blown, so we're going to do a little bit of that quality of life, get good tunes in her before we go too. Alright, we've got some tinted marker lights. So the original lights definitely didn't fit in the little area, so Aaron's gonna make that different.
Yep, got my little Dremel tool here, and I will just take out old paint and stuff and just kind of work on it until that goes in there and looks good. And if I've got to pretty it up a little bit afterwards, I will. But yep.
That's like 3 swipes of sandpaper, and look at all those high spots on that very special section of Bodyline. I'm scared. So I've been working this area and I'm feeling it with my hand, and it literally is like a bubble. It moves around. I don't know if I can catch that on camera or not, but Aaron told me, I just had him over here, he told me to get a razor blade and cut this section out. I'm scared. I'm being really careful in this body line here. I'm gonna do this without the little block, just with my hand. There's still some really rough areas right there and right here. But he told me to get a razor knife and cut this out because it's literally like moving around. All of that paint was just loose on there. Like it just peeled off very easily. And so he said, just leave it and he's gonna fix it. So I think he's gonna put some proper kind of filler on it of some sort and get it smooth. So I am leaving that section alone now, and I'm gonna move on to this beautiful section where it looks like we might have had a similar issue. Like when I push my fingernail on this bubble right here, it is a bubble. But then there's all kinds of wrinkling and like junk. That's very hard to see with the lighting, but I'm gonna see if I can smooth any of this out. So I'm over here on these rear fenders, and something that bugs the crap out of me with the way they did this paintwork is they like just have overspray and it's super rough. They didn't do any kind of prep work, like they just sprayed the screws, and it's really rough to the touch. So I've been removing the screws one by one, and I'm getting ready to sand this part, but these have been sanded and it's really nice and smooth now. So that's gonna help the fit and finish whenever we open the deck lid, and there's not like rough, gross overspray. So that's what I'm working on right now. Then I'm going to attack all these areas that he has circled on this fender. So we have some matte green wrap. This is not the color we went with, but it's a sample piece that Aaron ordered, and he's gonna see what it looks like, just like putting wrap over crinkly, gross paint. It tells all your secrets.
Yeah, and then when you put heat on that, it's gonna get even worse. It'll sink in there more.
He's gonna put it on my freshly smoothed area.
Trying to get an idea of how far do we go with it. You know, because we could spend hours and hours doing body work, but if it's not going to show through the wrap, I don't really see the point. That looked just like this fender down here before she sanded on it. You can't tell there's any blemishes under there. So.
Well, we got it pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Right about here is an area where there was a run, and I got it real nice and smooth, but you can still see it.
Yeah.
So it's still there, it's just much more smooth. So
that normally means that the run was in the base coat, not the clear coat. If you sand it and it's still there.
Okay. Getting started on this little area. I just hit it with the sanding block just a little bit, just to show the areas that need attention. Areas up here smoothed out. There's a run here, and it's nice and smooth. Moving on down. After I get this area, then I'm going to move on to this. And up under my stuff here, it looks terrible. Doing good. Aaron just said he got the ding that our wrap had delivered.
That's part of the days when you hear the UPS truck. We got wrap.
Oh my goodness.
The color right there.
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm so nervous. I hope we love it.
Well, you know, with the C5s, they made, I guess it was called a Fairview Green. I've seen pictures of those and they're gorgeous. So hopefully we like this one. We'll see.
Oh my gosh. See? We're here at the shop. Aaron has been working a few days on sanding and getting all of this stuff
And
rightish.
Also, I was sanding and then putting fiberglass down, and then I was sanding and sanding. And we got to the shop this morning and there was an 18-wheeler parked outside. So, I'll show you what that is. But what it does mean is I'm still gonna be sanding, but I might have some tools to help me sand. So let's move this car and get that stuff in here.
Gonna fire up Ralph the tractor and be loading in a new piece of machinery. I'm rather sketched out by this, but he's like, it's fine. He's like, it's fine. Our friend Michael's here hanging out. Oh my God. It's kind of hilarious when I'm on this side. I can't see the tractor at all. That's funny. We had an old Husky air compressor and it was time to replace it. So boy, are we excited about this unit. This thing is gnarly. Dude.
Yeah.
Dang, it's even got a fence. A little cage for the belts. Oh man, that is snappy. So Aaron said, this is a present he has to give me on camera.
She hand feeds our dog. When he doesn't want to eat dinner, she gets the fork and she feeds him little bites at a time. So I got her a golden spoon with a dog print on it.
Paw on it.
Spoiled freaking
Hey.
dog. She doesn't ever feed me with a spoon.
That is hilarious. Sometimes Finley's finicky and he just like looks at his food and he's like, no. And I'm like, promise buddy, you're gonna like it. So then I give him a few bites to get him started.
Yeah.
Finley, look. Aaron got this for us. When you're being persnickety with your food, and then we're gonna go, oh. See, he knows, like,
Mm-hmm.
buddy, you're such a turd bird. You're weird. You're weird, and he's making fun of us. He's making fun of us. Did you know it? All right. Since we got the vet backed into the lift bay, we're able to put another vehicle inside the shop, which is good. And we have wrapped up for the day. We will see y'all tomorrow for some more Corvette work. Today, we didn't get any done, but we got that new air compressor, and our friend Michael's boat was needing some attention, needing to be winterized, and he blew a wheel bearing out. I didn't film any of that, but we've been working on his boat all day. But it's good stuff. Little by little, we'll make this happen, so. We are back in the shop. I'm not gonna lie, I went to the gym this morning and took my time, and it's like afternoon. Aaron's been here since this morning, and he's been getting so much good stuff done on all these panels. He's been doing lots of reconstruction on the backside of all these where the big deck screws came through. On the underside of the bumper, there was a lot of split fiberglass, and he's put fresh fiberglass on the inside, and then he'll get the outside smooth. So he's doing a really good job, and he just put me on block sanding the rest of this bumper, and then moving on to potentially block sanding the hood, and then maybe the rest of the car to just get the surface really nice and smooth, because we know the state of that paint was just not good, even in the areas that didn't have bad bondo cracking and all that craziness. So kind of monotonous stuff to shoot. So we haven't shot a ton of this bodywork, but it's looking really good, and we're getting closer and closer to laying this wrap, and we're really excited about that. So progress is progress. So right now we're using, what is this grit?
180.
180.
Yep.
And then we'll go back with 320 after this.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, 800?
Possibly 800. We'll do some test strips of wrap and see if it shows
So look at these little things at O'Reilly, and they're really great. Probably best used for like little small areas, but they're a nice little block. So it's been working well. Doing the thing.
I was back there working on the hood. I did a little test place on it. It was about maybe 6 inches by 6 inches, and when the overhead lights hit it, it just looked terrible. There's so much orange peel on it and just trash that was in the original paint that we're blocking it, trying to get it straighter. Anything we can do to make this wrap look more like paint, we're gonna do it.
Piece of the wrap, and he's going to try it on this section that he's freshly sanded with what grit was that? 220? It was a pretty aggressive, more on the aggressive side, grit sandpaper, and he wiped it down with
Denatured alcohol.
that stuff smells so good. And he's going to do a little sample and see if we can see sanding scratches, if we can see all the imperfections. That'll be cool to see. Taking it off? Oh. Had that protective film on it. So there's a reflection of the overhead. How do you feel about it?
It looks a lot better than it did before.
I wish we'd done before. There was all kinds of little
we can show 'em.
ridges and trash.
Yeah, we can do it on the deck lid and show 'em.
I don't know if they can see through the camera like the naked eye looking at it, but it does look a ton better. I mean, I still see, and I don't know if that's the texture of the sticker or if it's the texture in the paint, but I do, like if you look through the camera, you can see.
I can get my eye on it and see it.
But
That's 1,000 times better. So if we take it down one more layer with a finer grit,
yeah,
I think we'll be in good shape.
I agree. I mean, it looks freaking beautiful. Okie dokie, y'all. We've done all the sanding and massaging of these body parts that we're going to do today. I've got a spa day planned with the girls tomorrow. So Aaron is going to be here at the shop all day by himself, just, you know, sanding away like a sanding fool. If anything comes up, he'll show you, but he's just gonna be banging workout. We're really close on these panels. Like the hood feels super smooth, and he's gonna go back over it with a finer grit tomorrow. And then
It's almost like start doing that same process with the other panels on the car so that she's super smooth for that wrap. And then pretty dang soon we'll be seeing some green up in here. We're excited. We'll see y'all tomorrow.